Hi, I'm Gretta Duleba. My mom, Diane Bartels, died recently. We didn't have an in-person memorial service, so I decided to make this video eulogy about her. It's pretty simple, just a little about her life and the things she loved best. But because two of my children are so young, they might not remember her very well, and I want them to have this record so they can know her better. I hope you enjoy it too. I'll start with a brief biography. Diane Lynn Bieri was born on March 30th, 1949. She was soon followed by 4 closely spaced siblings, making her the oldest of 5. The young family grew up on Twin Bluff Road in Red Wing, Minnesota. Diane attended college at Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin, where she met her future husband and my dad, Dave Bartels. They married in 1973 and had me in 1977. They moved around a lot in the early years, living in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota, finally settling into the long-term family home in Mound, Minnesota in 1984. Diane worked first as a teacher and then a stay-at-home mom until she started a textile arts business in 1991. She worked as an artist, designer, and entrepreneur until 2008, when she suffered a neurological event that left her unable to work. Diane and Dave divorced in 2016, and she moved to Seattle to be close to me and her grandchildren in 2018. She died on November 2nd, 2021. Against the backdrop of that bio, I want to talk about 5 things that Diane really loved throughout her life. The first one is Bible study. Diane described her childhood as sort of a mishmash theologically. The family went to a few different Christian churches over time, but I get the sense it wasn't a huge part of their lives. That changed for her in 1978, the year after I was born. She had become fast friends with Susie Holtje, her next-door neighbor in Dousman, Wisconsin. Susie was a member of Baraka Church, a worldwide ministry based in Texas. Susie witnessed to my mom, and Mom became a believer that year. I can't really overstate how important that moment was in her life. She completely oriented around it from that point forward. She studied the Bible every day, working from books and recorded sermons that came in the mail from Baraka. I can remember going to a few Bible conferences in Michigan when I was very small. By that time, we no longer lived next door to the Holtjes, but we were still good friends with them. I think we met up with them at one conference, and we also traveled with our next-door neighbors from our new home in Wheaton, Illinois. Mom and Susie remained best friends for the rest of Mom's life, calling, writing, and visiting as often as they could. The second thing that Mom really loved was reading. If Mom started every day reading the Bible, she finished it reading another book, any other book. She was an avid consumer of all kinds of books, mostly fiction, from literature to mysteries to romance novels. She was constantly asking me and everyone else for recommendations because her appetite for books was so voracious. The third theme I want to highlight from my mom's life is family. Diane absolutely loved being part of her extended family. The Bieris remained close-knit even when they were scattered through various states and the rest of the world. In going through old memorabilia, I found stacks and stacks of handwritten letters from one Bieri to another. Our family gatherings for holidays were legendary, and still are. And as long as she was physically able, my mom was an enthusiastic participant in all of it. She spoke on the phone frequently to each of her siblings and was always well informed about everyone's latest news. She also thrived on news of me and her grandkids. I am so grateful she was able to move to the Seattle area for the last handful of years so she could spend regular quality time with all 3 kiddos and let them get to know her while she was still with us. Even when her health became very poor, she was always thinking about how to make visits to Grandma's house special. And she made sure to have new toys and games ready to surprise the little ones. She always had cookies available. When she got too unsteady to bake homemade cookies, she just bought Oreos, and everyone was always delighted. The 4th area I want to highlight, I'm calling animal, vegetable, and mineral. Diane loved the beauty of the natural world. She especially adored dogs, of which she had many in her lifetime, but she was fond of animals of all types. When she traveled, she would always opt for whatever exotic zoo or animal encounter experience she could find, whether it was swimming with dolphins or feeding a zebra from a car window. Diane also collected leaves for use in her fabric design work, and wherever we went, she wanted to take clippings from the trees so she could make sun prints. Earlier in her life, she and my Aunt Sandra loved to collect colorful flowers and plants as ingredients for natural dyes for fabrics and yarn. Finally, like most of the Bieris, Diane was an avid agate hunter and could frequently be found hunched over on a riverbank, looking for the telltale red glint of a river agate. Washington State does not have a good supply of agates, but Nina loved to look at Grandma's agate collection under a magnifying glass every time we visited Grandma's house. The 5th and last area I want to talk about is color and design. My mom was trained as a teacher originally, but when I was a child, she started sewing stuffed animals and household goods such as napkins and table runners. She sold these things at local craft fairs to make a little extra pocket money. Over time, this casual hobby became more serious, and she moved from kitschy crafts into legitimate art and design work. She hand-dyed her own fabrics and yarns and sewed amazing works of textile art, mostly in the form of wall hangings. She traveled all over the country to display her artwork in juried exhibitions and shows, and she took home quite a few prizes. The heyday of her exhibition career was in the 90s and early 2000s. She was still evolving as an artist and creating new kinds of artwork when she suffered a debilitating neurological event in 2008 and was unable to continue her business. Even after that, she continued to love color and design, and she was always thrilled when one of the kids or I created something with color to brighten her home. To wrap this up, my mother was loved by so many people, as I always knew, but really have come to appreciate in the last several weeks since her death. Thank you to all of you who have reached out with stories and memories of what she meant to you. She was loyal, loving, whip-smart, generous, thoughtful, direct, and relentlessly determined to live by her values. She loved each of you very much, and we will all miss her tremendously. Thank you for watching.